Hello everyone, welcome to my first solo video. As you can see, Jawz is not here, but she did help with this, so thank you to Jawz for helping with this. Today, what we're going to be doing is power ranking every single Flume song from top to bottom. Now, there's a few rules because that's a shit ton of Flume songs. I'm not doing any remixes, I am not doing any covers, and I'm not doing any singles off of his upcoming album Palaces. So this is everything pre-Palaces, but not including the singles he released in the run-up to Palaces. I'm going to do minimal editing on this, so that way I can just get it out there. As you can see here, I got all the songs here. Now there is one exception to the no remix rule. That's the Is It Cold remix that he did with EPROM. That's on Hi, This Is Flume. That I am going to include because that's pretty pivotal in that mixtape. As you can see here, we got top 10, S, A, B, D, C. I said that backwards. A, B, C, D. I don't even know my alphabet. Wow. F tier. So I'm going to do the top 10 at the very, very end. Otherwise, I'm just going to throw things in here. You're going to see here that there's not going to be a lot of C's, D's, or F's. So just be ready for that. I'm a huge Flume fan. Skin is one of my favorite albums of all time. I have a tattoo on my leg that I'll show the album cover incorporated in it. So I'm a huge Flume fan. I'm looking very much forward to hearing Palaces. So that's what this is for. This is just building anticipation. We're just going to talk about some of his songs leading up to Palaces. There will be timestamps in the description too if you want to jump around. I will base it on how I listen to it as well, which was primarily by album. So you can jump to Skin, Hi, This Is Flume, all that, and there will be a timestamp just for the top 10 if you don't want to fuck around to see what my top 10 favorite Flume songs are. Okay, so you're gonna ask what order are we going in? I'm going in the order I listened to. When I said Jawz helped me, we were on a car ride the other day, and I was like, hey, would you be able to take some notes for me while we're doing this car ride? So she helped take some notes, and we're just going to get into it. I started with, Hi, This Is Flume, the mixtape. So right off the bat here, Hi, This Is Flume. We're dropping that right in the S tier. Such an iconic start to that mixtape. I remember when the mixtape came out, it was a few years after he had released anything, and it's just like, Hi, This Is Flume, and it just builds and builds, and it gets towards that craziness at the end, and you're like, oh shit, he's back, let's go. So easy S tier right away. Okay, next up is Ecdysis. That's gonna go right in the A tier. For those of you who don't know, Ecdysis is actually, I believe it's how the technical term for snakes shedding their skin. You know, his album before this was Skin, so he is literally shedding that, and he's like, that was the past. Like, let's get into this. This is going to be all new. Strap up, baby. We're in. So that's an A tier. I like a lot of the low end stuff. You're going to hear me say that a lot because he's really good at low end. He does like a lot of distorted drums and stuff like that. Super great. Solid A tier. So then next up we got High Beams. That is going to be a B tier. I like this. So I'm going to be talking a lot about like Flume's hip hop songs, and I feel like this is one of the softer ones with it. I feel like the beat and the lyrics aren't exactly tied together that great. Still pretty solid. It's really blown out sounding, which I like a lot. And especially, again, the low end, he like blurs it a lot. It's a lot of fun. But I just felt like the lyrics and beat weren't tied together too great. There's not a lot of variation in it compared to some of the other Flume songs, so just a solid beat. Next up, we have Jewel right there. That is going to be an A tier. I have some notes here. It just says, I like this. I like the glitches and the synth kicking. There's that really like blown out drum hit that's like in the middle and the end that boom. Doesn't sound like that. Probably sounds like that. I don't know. But it's just out of nowhere. Love that. It's like really glitchy but chill at the same time. And of course, top tier vocal chops. You're going to hear me say that all the time during this video is Flume and vocal chops are like the best. A tier for Jewel. Next we got, I'm just going to call it Wingdings. That's this one right here. That's going to be a D tier. That's our first D tier. It's just a really quick song with not a lot going on, so it's interesting, but, I wanted some more of it. Let's see. Next up, we have Dreamtime, which we got right here. I'm going to drop this right into a C tier. I like the way the percussion lines up. It's weird and off, but, like, it still fits, even though it doesn't sound like it should. It's really interesting, and like it builds really naturally. It's very like unsettling feeling, and just keeps building on that. We'll give it a C. Okay, next up we have the one exception that I said. Is It Cold in the Water? That is an S tier. Love this remix. I mean, this is the only remix, but like I said, it's crucial into the narrative of hi, this is Flume. Like if you've ever seen the visualizer, this is like, I would say, the peak of the storytelling, where it's just like he's burying himself and all that stuff. Really cool. Go check out the visualizer. It's fucking bananas. I like how the drop, like the bass doesn't have impact. It's really weird. It's like he pulls the impact back, and then that lack of impact becomes impactful. It's really odd, really cool. Only something you would hear in like a Flume song. There's like he does add in the bass like after those first lack of impact drops, and there's like that. It sounds like a 6-couplet bass hit, but it's like, I don't think it's exactly 6. I think he just threw a shit ton of the bass hits on top of each other and just kind of spaced them out so it sounds like 6 couplets. And it's just really cool. It's just really haunting with the lyrics and everything. I just love that song so much. Okay, next we have How to Build a Relationship. So where's that at? How to Build a Relationship, right here. We're going to put that right in the A tier. I think this is a pretty good song. Pretty good song. This is a little bit more like lined up. The lyrics and the beat are really lined up. Yeah, so I like how like the lasers during JPEG Mafia's like singing like come in, and then they shift left to right, and then it's just like the oh fuck, like that is so hype. It's really great. This one aligns a lot more with the production and the vocals like go hand in hand. So like that's really sick. Solid A tier. Okay, next up we have Wormhole. That's going to be down here. Let me just drag it up. It's not an F tier, don't worry. It's definitely the extreme opposite end, an S. This song is awesome. It is so out there. Like, literally, there's the metronome sound in the song, and I'm 90% sure it was left in there, so Flume, like, I'm pretty sure when Flume was making this, he had that metronome clicking so he could keep the rhythm. And then he just left it in just so we, the listener, could follow the rhythm as well. Because, like, it is just so chopped up and fucked up. But it's still, you know, a nice, clean 4/4 time. And I just think it is incredible. All the percussion just alternating. And at the end, it all culminates and it sounds really loud and powerful. And, man, great song. It's similar to Doll Scythe by Porter Robinson, which, again, I love. But it's a little cleaner in that sense, where like it does neatly fit into 4/4, where not neatly, but it does fit in 4/4 if you listen real hard and follow the metronome. But Doll Scythe is, like Porter has said, it does not have a time signature. You cannot fit it in anything. So I feel like they're pretty similar. Next up we have Voices, which is right here. That is going to be a B tier. Voices, Sophie singing, it's phenomenal. Again, great vocal chops in this. I have this note here that says, the drums sound awful, but it works really well. And that is like a classic Flume thing. He just destroys the sound quality of the drums, and it sounds awful. Like, if you were to take it in a vacuum, it would sound disgusting. But, like, with all of his production, it, like, all comes together really nicely. There's another note here that Jawz took. It says, I like the metal bring sound. Just me reading this note. I don't know what that is, but if you listen to the song, you'll probably hear a metal bring sound. Probably pretty cool. There's rising percussion at the end of the phrase as well that I like. It's really cool. Again, love all of his percussive elements. Even when they sound awful, they still sound great. It's crazy. Next up we have Mud, which is right here. That is going to be another C tier. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. It just doesn't really stick out to me. It has some of the standard Flume stuff, which is weird drums, but you sound like really muted bass. And that's really all I got to say about that one. Next up is Upgrade. Again, this is just in chronological order of when I listened to it, and I just listened to this is Flume Mixtape all the way through, because it all flows into each other, so you really should just listen to it that way. Like, if you shuffle it, it's all over the place. But Upgrade, here we go. This is our second D tier. It's just a lot of clapping. And, like, the Yeah, and it does settle into a groove at some point, and it does have a nice like bass pulse to it, but that's really all it's got going for it. It's not particularly my favorite. Next up we have 71M3, which is right here. That's going to be a B tier. I really like the beat. It's very ethereal sounding. The vocal chops do most of the heavy lifting here. Like, the rest is kind of pushed into the back where the vocal chops stand out, which is really cool. Like, the rest is all pretty subdued. It turned out pretty good. I like it. 71M3, B tier. Next is Vitality, right here. Oh, look at this. We're almost out of the Hi, This is Flume. We only got a couple songs left. Nice. So, I'm just going to drop this here. For now, it is not an F tier. Vitality is going to be S tier. You already knew that. The bass is just awesome. I really love it. That's really all I wrote on this one. Love this one. Love the pulsing bass. Don't know how to describe the sound, but I love it. The offbeat synths from the first half. Love all that. Great. Vitality S. I'm not the best at describing things, so hopefully you guys can follow along in this. You drink of water here? Water. It's Mountain Dew. Okay, we are into the final two songs of Hi, This is Flume. Next up is Days 22.00. That, right here, is going to be an A tier. I love the percussion and low end of this. The slower down snare hit really pulls it apart. Like, it's just so great. How many times am I going to say that this video? The piano interlude is awesome, and there's like some wind chime effects at the end that are sick. Love it. Solid A tier. And finally, hold on, I'm wrong. There's two more songs. Here they are, Amber and Spring. So Amber's next. That is an easy S tier. I said I don't know how to describe any of these sounds, but I love them. It's true. The really low end bass where he like slows it down and pulls the beat apart and then snaps it back together, I absolutely love. And then he like brings the synth in. The build and like the way he mixes the synth in is just awesome. And then I just love the real push-pull effect it has, like as he slows the beat down and then snaps it back together. It's really, really awesome. And finally, we have Spring, which is the last one from Hi, This is Flume. This is going to be an A tier. Just dropping it right in there. The tempo in the beginning is all over the place, and it's really fun. It's very engaging to listen to. I said the vocal chops are crazy intermixed with the high-pitched notes, and then the bass has a really surrounding sound. It really, like, envelops you. And, like, they do chop off that initial punch a bit again, similar to Is It Cold in the Water? How all the layers come and go and just, like, shift back and forth is awesome. So that is an A tier. So already you can see, like I said, most of the songs are going to be up in this region, probably the SAB tier. Don't worry, we'll fill out some more C's and D's, not a whole lot, and we'll see if there's any F's. Okay, next in what we listened to was Skin. Like I said at the beginning, this is one of my all-time favorite albums. Let's get into it. First off that, again, we just listened straight through, no shuffles, which I hadn't done in quite some time. So it was really fun to like come back and re-listen to this, because I probably hadn't listened straight through in, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. And it was really cool to come back to, because I tried guessing the order of the songs, and I was way off. Jawz was like, you are missing so many songs in the middle here. And I was like, okay, oops. I'm like, I know there's somewhere in there. So first off is Helix, which we're just going to drop right in the B tier. This song just sounds like a Helix. I don't know, like I can kind of see like the twistiness of it. I don't know if that makes sense. It just feels like a Helix to me, like the way the elements like kind of spiral around each other, I guess. And I like how the second build is kind of arrhythmic, like doesn't really have too much rhythm to it, like when he resets it and everything like that. I just think it's very interesting. Very solid start to the album. Next up, we have Never Be Like You, which is going to be our first. Just kidding, it's an S tier. How could it not be an S tier? Like, this song is so iconic. It is legendary. Literally, this song and another one that I'll get into broke into the, I think you'll know, broke into, like, the mainstream where, like, I heard people who had never heard of Flume before, like, singing this song. I think it even got some radio play. It was just cool to see an artist like Flume branch, like, well, obviously Flume does whatever the hell he wants, but, like, having a song that was well received by a lot of people. It's really cool to see. Like, you love seeing your artists have that moment, you know, like where a lot of people are like, oh shit, who's this Flume guy? Let's check him out. It's just a nice relationship song. It's the push and pull relationship, which I feel like a lot of people can relate to. Like wanting to live up to the expectations your lover has for you, even though you shouldn't have to, and like just that push and pull to it. Really great song, obvious S tier. Lose It is next, right here. That's going to be another beat. I like the piano hits that like cut up the flow a little bit. I like Vic Mensa a lot. I think he has some great bars in this. And then the second drop of the song, there's more layers that are added that build like into the beat and just like create a very full sound. A lot of fun, but not my favorite like hip hop Flume song, which we will get to. Numb Getting Colder is next. That's right here. That's an A. I really like the beat in this song. There's not a lot going on, but like it's enough to keep you going. I like the voice being like on the super high register here. A lot of the beat is like very low end, and then the vocals are like very high end. It doesn't sound like it should fit very well, but like it does. That's just what Flume does. He always makes it fit. It has like, it just makes it the range a lot bigger, which is great. There's a lot of cool auxiliary drums. It's just a lot of fun. Now, here we get to the other obvious super S tier, is Say It. Again, this is the other song that I was talking about where it got a lot of like recognition outside of just the EDM sphere, which is freaking awesome. Again, super iconic. Tableau is great on it. It's a very low-key production from Flume, but it still is incredible. Like, he keeps it kind of in the pocket, you know, in the back, and lets Tableau and the lyrics kind of carry it through. But, like, it just ties together so well. It is just such a perfect... It's like a perfect song. I love that song. Okay. Like, I don't love all these songs. Next up, we have Wallfuck, which, that's going to be an A tier. The vocal chops, again, super incredible. Classic Flume standard. There's a lot of low end, and it swings up with like a lot of reverb. This is like a precursor to Wormhole, I would say, which I have Wormhole up here. Like just in structure, I literally wrote this walk so Wormhole could run. But it's like more rhythmic than Wormhole is. Like it alternates a lot between the high vocals and the low end drums and bass, and not D&B, just the drums and the bass. And it's, like I said, just it reminds me a lot of Wormhole, like a pre-Wormhole. Next up, we have Pika, which we're going to put in S tier, obviously. Like, so, when I see Pika, I think of Pikachu, which I'm not sure if you can see it right now, but I have a big Pokemon thing right back over there. So I love Pokemon. So when I hear Pika, I think of Pikachu, and like this song literally sounds like, if you know what Pikachu is, he's like an electric rat. I'm assuming you know what Pikachu is. How the fuck can you not? When I hear the song, it literally sounds like some small creature just like exploring, like in a forest or something. And like it feels like a nature documentary, like found this little mouse. I guess Pikachu's a mouse, not a rat, whatever. Like found this little mouse out in the woods, and it's just following it around, and like watching it explore and learn and experience new things, and like there's an innocence to it. It's very explorative, and I feel like that is exactly what the song is, and it's just awesome, like how it creates that atmosphere. Next, we have Smoke and Retribution. I'm laughing because on my notes it says Smoke and Redistribution, so got spell check there. Also, when we did High Beams, where's that at? High Beams, it corrected to Hugh Beans, like a name. So that's fun. Smoke and Retribution. Damn it, I almost said it. That's a B tier. I don't have a lot to say about this one. There's a few lines that I like the I ain't scared 6 feet because I ain't scared to be free. Like, I think that's a really cool line. Yeah, but I just like the beat more than the lyrics. And again, this is not on the stronger side of Flume's endeavors into hip-hop. Next up is 3, which is A tier. There's a lot of layers that come in and out, and then there's all kinds of crazy percussion stuff going on, like tempo block, crash cymbals, snares, and claps. Like, they keep flowing in and out of each other, which is a lot of fun. I said, I like how he fucks with that riser, too, by chopping seconds out of it for no reason. Oh, yeah, there's, like, a really nice riser in it, and he just, like, chops it up for no reason. It's, like, the little things, like him chopping up the riser like that just makes Flume very, very unique. And part of the reason why I love him. Okay, next up we have When Everything Was New, which that's going to be a solid S tier. I love this song. It's on, like, I have a short playlist of, like, 5 songs that's called Center Yourself. If I ever get, like, really worked up, I can listen to, and it will just chill me back out. And this is on there. Like, it's very highly selective with it, so there's only 5 songs on it, and that is one of them. Because it is just such a calming song. Like, there's the really soft, like, lyrics in the back. It just has, like, the ambient child sounds, obviously, puts you in that mindset of, like, when you were a child and, like, you were experiencing a lot of things for the first time. There's that innocence with it. It just has a very, like, nostalgic sound to it. The name is perfect. Like, that's really what it feels like. It feels like when everything was new. It just puts you in that mood, and it just leaves you there. It's got the really long, drawn-out bass phrases that are just super great, and love it. S tier song. Next up is You Know. This is going to be another D. I don't particularly like this song. I don't relate to, like, the lyrics that much. The production doesn't really do too much to add to the lyrics either. It's like it's a great story, don't get me wrong, but, like, I never really attached onto that song and really, like, connected with it as much as I'm sure some have. Not much to say about that one, just that. Next up is Take a Chance. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. No, not the album song, just the original, or not the original, just the Flume song. That is going to be another S tier. I love Take a Chance. Little Dragon absolutely crushes it. Like, her vibe fits perfectly with Flume, and this was just such a great mesh of sounds there. I feel like Little Dragon has, like, some of the best features of all time. Like, The Festival with Mac Miller, Light by Odessa, and, like, Take a Chance with Flume. Like, those 3 songs alone are, like, phenomenal, and she crushes them on every single one of them. So I love Little Dragon. The whole build into the drop, like, it builds that momentum and then just releases it on you. There's, like, the 16th notes in the drop that are a lot of fun. There's, like, sleigh bells in the song too that just shake the back constantly. Amazing, great, love it. Next up is Innocence, which actually is going to be an F tier. I do not like this song. This is, spoiler alert, this is the only F tier song that is going to show up in this tier list. I do not like the song. I've never liked the song. It is just so long and meandering and repetitive, and, like, maybe I just don't get the point. Maybe I'm dead wrong on it. I just don't like it. It doesn't do anything for me. Like, no disrespect to the vocalist on it. It just doesn't hold a flame at all to, like, Never Be Like You or Say It, which is, like, very vocally driven, and, like, this is vocally driven as well, and, like, they're just polar opposites in my mind of just, like, how good they are. I don't know. I just do not like it. F tier. Sorry, no offense. Like Water is next. Let's bounce back a little bit. We're going to bounce right back up to an A tier. Level 11, naturally. MDNR is, like, singing her heart out here, and, like, you can really feel that. You can feel the passion in her voice, and I love it. Like, especially when she swings up to, like, the really high end, like, you can feel it. Like, she really puts her heart into it, and I love it. Next up is Free, which, unsurprisingly, is an S tier. It's a very harsh sound, but it feels like someone being set free to me. Like, again, the name ties into the sounds that he puts forward so perfectly, and, like, it really sets the stage. Like, it's similar to, like, a Pika or When Everything Was New, where, like, this is the exact feeling that he is expressing in the song, and I think it works so well. Like, it's so energetic, and, like, it just feels like a relief. Like, I'm finally free. I've been let go. Like, I can, you know, I'm free. And it's just that release, that, like, soaring that you feel, that soaring feeling. It's incredible. And it's just so energetic. A lot of alternating notes and stuff. The melody is just amazing. I love when he does, like, the double time drums too. Like, it just feels like something or someone being set free. And finally, we have the closer of Skin, which is a little song called Tiny Cities, which is definitely an S tier. Look at that. Our S tiers have gotten so big. Guess what? There will be more. I love Tiny City. Beck, his lyrics in this are incredible. You know, it's about a relationship failing and, like, trying to break the patterns and, like, get better and everything like that. Like, the lyrics from top to bottom are amazing. I love how Beck has, like, a crazy vocal inflection in here. Like, he changes notes all the time, has really weird emphases on, like, emphases on different beats and stuff like that. It's really great. The drop is like a psych out. Like you expect it to be like this huge release, and it's very subdued and like intimate. It's very emotional. It's very ethereal. I thought it is a great way to tie up the album. Love Tiny Cities. Incredible. Okay, and that does it. We are through 2 albums. We still have the original OG Flume album, which I believe is up next. And then we have the Skin EP 1 and 2, and then just some singles. And that's it. We're nearly through. So, yes, next up is Flume, the album. First up off that is Sintra, which is right here. That's going to be a B tier. I love the tempo blocks on it, and this is like... It's like a very Puritan, this is what makes Flume Flume. Obviously, this is the intro off of his first album. Like, it's got the vocal chops, it's got the glitchy beat, a lot of percussion going on here. But just, you know, as Flume has released more songs, I feel like this one has settled itself as a relatively average Flume song. So right around a B. Next up, we have Holdin' On. That is going to be an A tier. I love the breakdown element with the loose hi-hat. There's like a slow note structure through the whole song that's pretty simple, but it like punches and like carries it through the whole song. He does a lot of note runs like around those beats that the punchiness emphasizes, and like alternates it with percussion. And I think it's just again incredible production. Flume is one of the best producers of all time, in my opinion. And yeah, just a make here. Next up, Left Alone, which we're gonna put in a B. So, I love the vocal layering. Chet Baker's voice in this is very creepy or ethereal. I feel like I said that a lot, and I'll probably say that a few more times. There's like some simple drum fills and stuff. He had some whistling at the end. It has like a really, again, a nice ebb and flow to it. There's like a little pulse here and there, a push and pull that I like. Just solid. Leave it at a B. Next up is Sleepless, which is going to be... It's not an F. I told you we only got one F on this list. That's an S. Absolutely an S. This is actually the first Flume song I ever heard, and I was blown away immediately because I had never heard anything like this. I think it was in like... What year was that? Maybe 2014? I would have to double check. Like, I was blown away the first time I heard it. So total vibe, again, top tier vocal chops, literally like some of his best. There's like a bunch of tinkling sounds here and there. It's very vibey. Bass kicks are great. He like does the double time vocal chops, like, and then pulls it back into like the really stripped down melody, then builds it back up into like crazy vocals again, and the crazy vocal chops. I love it. Just top tier work. Oh, yeah, Sleepless is great. First song I ever heard, and it just pulled me into all of this. So thanks, Flume. Love it. Next up, we have On Top, which we're going to put as a C. Again, this is early hip hop work with Flume, and again, it doesn't tie in too much until the end when he matches like the all that I got. Like with the beat, that's like the only time it lines up. But other than that, it just doesn't line up too well. And it's kind of harsh sounding, even for a Flume song. And I just feel like it's his first foray into like making more hip hop songs, and it just doesn't hold up to me too much. It is most certainly not On Top. That was a terrible pun. Okay. Next up is Stay Close, which is also another C. I don't really got much to say about this one. Just not a lot going on. Nothing really catches my ear. Just kind of exists as a Flume song. But I don't hate it. Not like Innocence. And then we have another one, which is Insane. That is next up. And that's obviously another S tier. Moon Holiday just crushes the vocal performance on this. When the beat kicks in, it is just incredible. It like has a very disco feel to it, which I really enjoy. Reminds me of like the 80s and just like neon flashing lights and all that stuff. I just love it. Don't have much to say other than I love it. Then next up we have Change, which we're going to put in the A tier. So there's a really nice swinging groove to the song that I like. Like the snare clicks sort of have a flam effect to them, which if you don't know what that is like there's a soft beat that hits right before the actual downbeat. It's a percussion thing. I don't know, it's just a little subtle effect that I picked up on. There's like the melodic section of the song is like really muddy and like doesn't sound the best, but it really comes together by the end of it. Like they don't line up perfectly neatly, but it still like fits into the overall groove and everything. I just think it works really well. So that's an A. Next up we have Ezra, which is going to be an S tier yet again. I love the breathy samples in this, and again, really slow, drawn-out phrases that I like. It's a total head bopper, so I was just bopping my head to it. I think I originally had it as an A, and then I was listening, and I was like, nah, this is great. He's got very simple like drum fills. It's literally just going down the toms. Like, I don't know. It's very simple yet effective, and like it's not overproduced, which I appreciate. The vocal chops and rhythm just like really play off each other very well, which I quite enjoy. Easy S tier. Next up is More Than You Thought, which we will do as an A tier. So it starts off with a vibra slap, which you never fucking hear that everywhere. I'll show a photo of vibra slap because it's a percussion instrument that like it's very obscure. There's like the really low and warping sounds that are really neat, and then like the vocals just kind of drop in out of nowhere. Like there's two halves of the song. There's like the really low end, and then there's like the really it almost sounds like tribal vocal elements, and then he just shifts right back from the vocals into that like harsh sounding songs. I feel like it's a two halves like playing off each other really well, which I guess the song is More Than You Thought. Another bad pun. Next up is Space Cadet. This is going to be an A tier. It's very vibey. All the interludes are really unique, and like it just has a great melody that I like that carries me through. Again, not a lot to say here other than hey, I just enjoyed this. Bring You Down is next. Oh my god, look how we're nearly through, gang. Look at that. Next is Bring You Down. So we're going to drop that right into the B for Bring You Down. Jordan Maple's great in this. If you can tell, I started including the vocalist names as I was taking notes because I was like, oh, I want to make sure I shout them out. George Maple's great. Flume always gets like crazy good performances out of all his like vocal features. But there's not much else going on here that stands out. It's pretty simple. I really just think George Maple carries most of this track. Next up we have Warm Thoughts, which, guess what? Another S tier. I think S tier clearly has the most amount in here. That's funny. It just has a really great groove to it. The intro is really great with the heavy percussion elements. There's like a bunch of like vocal ooze floating around the back that I really enjoy a lot. And then like towards the end is the double time section, which it has so much energy. It just makes you want to bounce along to it. Just easy S tier. Love that song. Again, that was one of the first songs I ever heard as well that I was like, whoa, damn, this guy is great. Next up is What You Need, which we're going to put right into the B tier. This is a very slower tempo song for Flume, which I enjoyed. And there's like a lot of string elements that you don't often hear in Flume tracks, especially in this album. And I just think it's really great. And then last one from the self-titled Flume album is Star Eyes, which we're going to drop right into the D tier, unfortunately, for Star Eyes. For the outro of the album, it was just kind of soft. The album just kind of like floats off with this track, and nothing really stood out to me. It didn't really like impact me in any crazy way. Really, the low end of the song is the only part that like really grabbed my attention. So yeah, I just didn't think it was the best outro to that album. But still, like I said in the beginning, I love every single Flume song. Except for maybe Innocence. I genuinely don't think I like that song. Every song is great. Even these songs are great. Like, I would still listen to Flume songs over a lot of other artists, even if I don't like them, just because I love Flume overall. Okay, next, we are going to get into the Skin Companion EP number 1, which starts off with a total banger, which is Trust. That's an easy S tier for me. There's, like, a quarter note triplet motif that translate through the whole song that makes it feel like it's not in 4/4 time, even though it is. I think it's so great, so well structured. Again, like the lyrics are top notch. Like the whole whispered section where it's like, maybe it's something I should have said a long time ago, and like the piano chords are super impactful. The percussion intro is incredible. It's like very bittersweet sounding, and I just think this is one of like the most inventive Flume songs because like all the percussive elements as well as like that quarter note triplet motif that carries it through is like a very weird structure that doesn't always play with, and I love that song. S tier. Easy. Next up is V. Just V. That is going to be a B tier. I really like how the track like keeps building as elements get added. Like it starts off at really subdued, and then it like gets very complicated sounding in the middle of it and towards the end of it. I feel like on this EP is where Flume started playing a lot with piano a lot more, like really bringing it to the forefront, and I think it really stands out again in this track. Next we have Heater, which we're going to put in an A tier. There's a lot of like weird cymbal stuff that stands out to me. Again, I'm a percussionist, so I love all the weird percussion shit that goes on. I love the sounds in the second drop, like all the wobbling sounds with the weird alternating pitch and stuff. There's some like, it sounds like a rain stick too. Again, an obscure percussion instrument that literally sounds like tinkling water, which I thought was very unique to the song as well. So putting it right in the A. Last on the Skin Companion EP 1 is Quirk, which again, it's going to be an A tier. Look at that. Look at that spread. We got lots of S's and A's. So I like the ambiguity of the bass in the intro. Like it's kind of hard to pin down. And I like the vocal performance being like very distant and reverb. It's just really great. Not much to say about that one. Just a solid A. First up on that is Enough, which is going to be an S tier. I love Pusha T's lyrics on this. And it's just a really harsh song, which really aids Pusha's lyrics on this really well. And it's really like booming. The bass is really like blown out, especially like the bass hits and all that. It's just a really great execution. Like this is one of my favorite like hip hop sounding Flume songs. Obviously, it's an S tier. Love it. Weekend is next. That's another S tier. I love like the two half sounds of this song. Like we start off with this like weird experimental sound, and then like it shifts to this really emotional, heartbreaking track about like a lost love and everything, like right in the middle of it. It's you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like where did this come from? And like the outro with the piano is incredible, and like I just like listening to the very end beautiful piano part at the end of it, just thinking back to the start, like how did we get here? And like when you put it, like when I think of it that way, I'm like, it is such a masterpiece where it's like we had this first harsh half and then a second half that was just incredible. Very emotional, very powerful. Only Flume would put those two together and make it work, and like you understand how we got there. And like he ties in the very melodic part with some like melodies building up towards the end of the experimental stuff. It is incredible. Love it. Depth Charge is next, which we're going to put in the B tier. We'll put it right there. Look at that. We're filling out. So we'll put that right in the B tier. This has some harsher sounds as well that I really enjoy. And I just thought this was another like perfect example of how Flume can take really weird sounds and just like put them all together in a way that is very appealing. Like again, if you took these sounds and just put them in a vacuum, you'd be like, what the hell am I listening to? Like, what is this? And then he just fits it all together really well. I think I initially had this as an A, but then like it's just a little repetitive towards the end. Like, I feel like he could have chopped off part of it, and it would have been fine. It would have told the same story. So I think that dropped it down to a B for me. And then we have Fantastic, which has an A. This is Dave from Glass Animals. So if you like Glass Animals, they've been getting a lot of radio time recently. As the best new artist, even though they've been around forever, and I've been listening since, I think, 2015. So they've been around a while. This has some classic, like, weird Glass Animals lyrics that you're like, when you look at them, you're like, what is he, like, this weird shit you're talking about? But it's still a lot of fun. I love the editing that Flume does on his voice in it. Like, makes it really glitchy, like a record skipping. It really adds to, like, the ambiguous, kind of creepy, jaded or detached or somber atmosphere that the track is going for. Like, it just all fits really well together. It really sets a tone to it, and the vocal editing really ties into that. Okay, so now we have just a few more things left. Not much. Next, we are going to the Quits EP, which are these three tracks that he did with Ray O'Cragen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. First off the Quits EP is, obviously, Quits. I'm going to put that in the A tier. I have S on my notes, but I need to stratify things a little bit. Again, I think this is a really... I love this whole EP. I think Flume and Rayo's sound really fits together really well. And, like, this is peak hip hop for Flume, where like he really ties it all together really well. You can really feel the beat like build with the lyrics, and it really pushes and pulls with the lyrics too. Like as there's more emotion, the beat gets louder and like builds up a little bit more. And it's still similar to some of his other songs. It's like a very simple production, I think, in this track in particular, where he lets like the emotionality of the lyrics really play out. In the second drop, it does get a little bit more complicated, but it's still like really good. But I feel like he really hit the balance of like letting the vocals do the majority of the lifting there. Next up is Levitate, which that is gonna be an S for sure. Just love the lyrics in this. I love the message of the song, and like I love how there's like an acoustic element to it with the guitar in the verses and stuff like that, and then there's like the more EDM like bassy side of it in the drops. I really like the title's Levitate, and I like how we build to it. Like you don't hear the word in the track until like pretty late on, and like it really builds up to that moment where it's like, oh, we levitate now, and like I just think it builds really, really well. Last is Friends from this EP, which, again, going to be another S tier. Actually, let's drop this down to A. I have it as an S tier as well. I had this whole EP as an S tier, but we'll drop these two down to A's. I really like, again, how well the production and lyrics tie in together, especially Rayo is talking about like the emotion building up, and you feel that tension building in like the lyrics as well, and then it like releases and explodes with the drop, and I think it's really great. This EP is, again, like I said, peak like hip-hop sounds with Flume, in my opinion. Like it ties in really well together, where the production aids the lyrics a lot. Okay, next we have the Lockjaw EP, which is really old Flume stuff, really old. Like I think this was before the self-titled Flume album, and this is all with Chet Faker. First off that is Drop the Game. That's going to be B tier. I just think it's a very solid song. The low vocal layering and the effects on it are really cool. I like the little oohs that are through the track like that. But just very solid. Nothing crazy. Next up off that is What About Us? That's going to be an A tier. There's really punchy piano in this as well. This song just like progresses really naturally. I feel like I don't feel like anything's really forced or like jarring about this. Like it just has a really nice flow to it. There's like crackling in the background that gives it that like old feel. And then, like, there's the saxophone that kicks in towards the end. That's just, like, awesome. So, solid A tier there. And then, next up, we have This Song Is Not About a Girl. That's going to be another A tier. I just love the feel of this song. It's, like, very indie rock sounding. There's, like, I think it's an organ sound that's, like, really long and drawn out in it that really stands out to me. I don't know if it's an organ. If you know what it is, let me know. There's, like, a halftime feel at the end of the song that is really fun as well. So, I just think it's solid. And we pretty much sped run through that, the Lockjaw EP, but there's only 3 songs, so it was really great. And last up we have singles. There's only 5 singles, I think. Let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 5 singles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yep. Okay, so we're going to go again like the order I listened to them in, which was Hyper Real first. That we're going to put as an S. I love this song. It's very glitchy in the beginning. Again, Kaka is great in this. I just love her voice. It's like really high pitched, but like I don't know. It just fits really well. And again, Flume messes with the vocal editing a lot, and it really ties into the beat really well. I don't have much to say besides that. I just really enjoy this song. It's very, very engaging to listen to. Let You Know's next. That is going to be a solid A tier. Lana Grammer, again, love her performance in this. In the chorus parts, there's some really emphasized beats that the production like ties into, and then like towards the end of like the 4-bar phrases and everything like that, he makes it pop a little bit more. Like he edits them and like adds a little more texture to it, and that's a lot of fun. Next up, we have Rushing Back, which it's going to be S tier. I give the most in S tier. S tier, I just think this song is incredible. It's very emotional. The lyrics, are just super impactful. Like, I always let the day slip away. I should have been making up my mind. Like, I'm not a good singer, but I got the good rhythm down. I just love that. The production aids it, again, perfectly. Where, like, the beat kicks in right as all of it comes rushing back, like all the memories and stuff come rushing back. All the choruses are really like quiet and emotional, and then all like everything comes flooding back, and that's when the beat kicks in. I just think it's really great. It's got like a nice flow to it. Then we have Some Minds, which, guess what? Another S tier. This is a really old Flume song as well. I just think it's completely iconic. It just keeps building and building and building and building and building, and then you finally get to the drop, and it is just so good. It's super unique, like pretty simple sounding, in all honesty, but like just tied in with all the lyrics and everything like that. It's just like such a good release to the song. This was like really defining for Flume's production as a whole. Like looking back at this, like, and where his production has gone since Some Minds is like incredible. Like, there's a lot of those elements in the song that you can still hear him using now, and I just think it's awesome. Okay, last up we have The Difference, which, hey, guess what? Another S tier. I love Tori Moy. I've been listening to him for a few years now, and then this song came out, and I was like, no fucking way. I was like, I never thought this would be a crossover that I would see, and it just works so well. Like, their sounds fit together so perfectly. This almost has like a drum and bass feel to it with the percussion elements, and I just think it's a really great union of the sound. I think it's super great. Check out Tori Moy. Well, check out all these artists who you aren't familiar with. Okay, now let's get into the top 10. We're going to work backwards from 10 to 1. If you can guess, most of them are going to be in the S tier here. Actually, I think all of them are. I thought long and hard about this top 10, long and hard, and I try to not skew towards one era of Flume sound at all. And again, this is my personal opinion, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But these are the songs that, like, I would always come back to and be like, yeah, these are the best. So, yeah, just bear with me here. Number 10 is going to be Levitate. Again, I just love the message of the song. I just think it fits in like the union of sounds here. Rayo crushes it on this. I think this is his most emotional song on this of that EP, and I just think it's really great. Okay, number 9, we have The Difference. I just think the union of sound here is just incredible. Tori Moy just crushes it. I think it's super great. I don't have much to say other than what I just talked about. That was the last thing I just talked about, so just go back and watch it right before the top 10 starts. Number 8 is It Cold in the Water? I just think this is, again, in the context of Hi, This Is Flume, this is easily the most impactful song on there, especially with the visualizer. And it is just such a unique sound with the, like, no impact drop. It's just such a cool sound that I absolutely love it. It is just so unique, and like you don't hear it very often. EPROM's great too, so love it. Great song. Number 7, we have Trust, as my mouse was just hovering over there. I just love the emotionality in the lyrics. The coordinate triplet motif is super cool. Like, just go listen to it. It's amazing. And just like tap the 4/4 time in your hand and watch it like line up well, not perfectly with coordinate triplets. It's just so unique. And I remember when the song came out, like, it was actually very impactful for me. I was like, holy shit, like, this song is really great. The whole, maybe it's something I should have said a long time ago. I was like, oh my god. I was like, should I have like spilled myself to a person I was interested in like a long time ago? And I was like, yeah, probably. But you know, you live and you learn. Next up, number 6, we have Insane. Just classic. This is just classic Flume. This is like, you still hear this a lot, or at least I do, being sampled in a lot of sets and everything, because it is just such an iconic song. Really great. Love it. The atmosphere of the song is incredible. Let's see, what do we have next? We have Rushing Back. That's number 5. Again, I just love the production, how it's like, well, the lyrics are just like hit you right in the heart. They gave me chills the first time I heard them, and then like when the bass kicks in with it all comes rushing back, like, oh, just absolutely phenomenal. It's top tier. Obviously, it's top 5. Number 4, we have Some Minds. This is like old Flume, but like it set the stage for like pretty much his entire career, more or less. Like, it stands out. It still holds up like extremely well, and there's elements of it that you still hear, like the really loud surrounding bass elements, really ethereal lyrics. and like some of the vocal editing and stuff like that. Those are still staples that he uses now, and it's just cool that like this song holds up. Okay, now we are into the top 3, and at number 3, we have Weekend. I can't get enough of this song. Every time it comes on, like I start building the lyrics, and again, I just like the whole journey that the song takes you through. Again, top tier lyrics, super emotional. I just love the shift from like the really experimental sounds to like the super emotional sounds and how he ties them together. It is just a masterpiece. Then number 2, you probably figured it out because I said this was the first Flume song I ever heard. That's going to be Sleepless. Sleepless is just phenomenal. I could listen to that song a million times in a row. I will never get sick of it. There's always something engaging about it that you can pick out, and it is, I don't know, it's just a masterpiece. Number 2 overall. I can't get enough of it. But there is one song I like more than that for Flume, and that is Innocence. No. Just joking. It's Tiny Cities. This song literally saved my life. I'll just say it. It saved my life. I remember when Skin came out, it was after a friend of mine had died, and after a very serious relationship that I was in ended. And so, you know, the lyrics like, it was never perfect, it was never meant to last, hit a chord in me. The whole speech at the end where it's, can I ever get ahead of what I want and what I need and what I have to do to get away from what is killing me? How can I convince myself to not believe in what I know when all I see is dominoes falling uphill as we go? Like, that is still just burned in my brain. I just know it's there. I literally just said it. Don't have it pulled up or anything like that. That is just burned in my brain. The whole idea of the tiny cities, like, blowing away in your hand, like, flecks of sand. Like, you spent all this time building up this thing, like this tiny city, and it just blows away like nothing. And it's just like, that emptiness that you feel after a relationship is crazy. And like, I just feel like that it's such a good representation of that feeling, and I just love it. Beck and Flume, who would have thought they ever would have collabed? They did, and it is one of the best songs of all time, in my opinion. So, that's it. There's my top 10 Flume songs. I'm going to hopefully get this out when the day that Palaces comes out, which is actually tomorrow. I'm recording this the day before, because I like giving myself no time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your top 10s. I will post a link in the description to this tier maker, and you can make your own versions. So let me know, and I will post a photo of the tier maker here, my final version. So let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, do all that. I'm going to do this again for Odessa. When their album, when The Last Goodbye comes out, I'm going to go through all of Odessa songs and do a similar thing. So let me know what you think. Let me know other artists you want me to do this for. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that, like I said. And goodbye.